The first vote I ever got to cast in 1976 was for Ronald Reagan. And following one godfather, I just wanted to say that, Ron Paul is the godfather of the Tea Party. It's apparent at this point that America needs a good doctor. And Ron Paul, having delivered 4,000 babies, is the candidate in this race that has been the most consistent in his positions, has been totally consistent in his positions on limited government, individual liberty, sound monetary policy, sound money, and he's done this over a 30-year career. He identified the problems of debt, deficit spending, and the debasement of the dollar long ago, and we're dealing with those issues today. Dr. Paul has walked the walk. He has, as in his medical practice, he has not taken Medicare. He has treated people for no fee. He has not participated in a federal pension. And he has not participated in the federal health plan, and he has not taken any foreign junkets. Dr. Paul, as a U.S. Air Force veteran, is for a strong national defense. In fact, his foreign policy is the foreign policy that George Bush had prior to 2001, which was no nation building and stopping the policing of the world. Dr. Paul has a strong economic plan to cut $1 trillion from the budget, tax cuts, and the elimination not only of $1 trillion, but 5 departments, 5 cabinet-level departments, one of which is the Department of Education, which has long been a plank of the GOP. Dr. Paul represents the true growth in the GOP of any candidate in this race. His strong performance on college campuses and among young people is a testament to that fact. Dr. Paul is the only candidate in this race that represents a true break from the status quo of big government and a return to liberty and the founding principles of this nation: limited government, individual liberty, and sound money. Character counts, and Dr. Paul is a tonic that will do good for the body politic of America. And I respectfully ask for your support for the candidate of peace and prosperity, Ron Paul.
I too am having a hot flash. All right, I have a lot to say. I got to go really fast, so here we go. Barack Obama is a piece of crap. Barack Obama is a message here. Anybody in the media, make sure you get this quote down. Barack Obama is a communist. He believes he's a totalitarian type who wants to take this country back to East Germany, 1957. However, having said that, Barack Obama can't be underestimated. He's an enthusiastic, he's a great campaigner. He's magnetic, he's cheerful, he's got a big sincere smile, he's got lots of teeth, he's got a big face, he's got the whole deal. He's very excellent in that regard. Yes, his message is bullcrap, and he's a psychopathic and serial liar, but he can communicate his message when he needs to. That's important. And the reason why is because our nominee, whoever that is, has to be a world-class conservative communicator. So who have we got? Mitt Romney. All right, here's the deal. Mitt Romney's a pander and a flip-flopper. He's a politician without conviction. He's a big government guy who believes that Republicans should be in charge, as long as the Republicans are in charge. Once Romney wins the nomination, Barack Obama's first campaign commercial will be, "Hey, what are you complaining about Obamacare for? I got it from that guy." That's bad. Okay? Mitt Romney's Obama light. Remember that. Rick Perry. Rick Perry may be conservative, but it doesn't matter. Have you seen any of his debates? Here's the deal with Rick Perry. He's a great guy. He cannot communicate. He's not articulate. He can't explain anything, even his good points. Rick Perry's painful to watch. He's like John McCain. Herman Cain. Herman Cain's a great guy. I have 2 of his signed books in my house. They cost me $50 each. Unfortunately, when you get Herman Cain off script, he's really bad. His flip-flop on abortion was ridiculous. His explanation of Guantanamo prisoner exchange was clearly out of sight. His lack of Middle East knowledge is actually scary. His signature 999 opens the door to all kinds of new tax without repealing the income tax. The left is going to love that. They'll compromise everything to get it. He's a great guy, but he spent most of his life being an uncurious spectator, and that's a problem. Okay, selecting him is a lot like us. It was a lot like when the liberals selected Barack Obama in 2008. Great persona, but not a lot of stuff behind it. Ron Paul, listen, here's the deal about Ron Paul. Anyone who would be satisfied with Hitler having possession of nuclear weapons is simply not qualified to be president. I mean, it's as simple as that. Everybody else is not going to be president. Newt Gingrich. All right, here's the deal with Newt Gingrich. I don't have a lot of time. Here we go. Newt Gingrich, the most important thing to consider about him, even the people who hate Newt Gingrich will concede that he's not only the smartest guy in the room, he's the best debater. Even the people who hate Newt Gingrich know that he's Barack Obama's worst nightmare. Even the people who hate Newt salivate at the thought of Newt going one-on-one on a stage in front of a national audience debating Obama's record with Obama. Even the people who hate Newt Gingrich know he would smack that son of a bitch right upside his head, figuratively speaking, of course, and shove his record of failure and anti-American policies right up his whatever. And that's why you need to support Newt Gingrich.
I feel great. Not a problem in the world. I am here to endorse the candidacy of Mitt Romney, and I encourage all of you to do as well. You know, who is Mitt Romney? You've seen him. He has about a 98% recognition rate among voting-age Americans today because he has run before. Mitt Romney is a very conservative, 64-year-old businessman who was president of the Olympics. He was also governor of the state of Massachusetts. And I don't need to tell you that Massachusetts is a very blue state, even bluer than the state of Maryland. It's not easy for Republicans to lead and win in Massachusetts. But he did. Mitt Romney is a guy who turned around businesses for 25 years in the private sector, rebuilding, restarting, and creating tens of thousands of jobs. And that's exactly what we need in America today. Next, he turned around the Olympics. And if you remember the 2002 Olympics, we were $150 million in debt. It was fraught with scandal. It looked like it was going to be a giant embarrassment to the United States. He came in. He raised hundreds of millions of dollars. We actually made a $25 million profit for the U.S. Olympic Committee. And he turned the Olympics around to a crown jewel of American success when America really needed a pick-me-up after the 9/11 attacks. He then went on to run the state of Massachusetts. Again, turning around a state that was in financial chaos after the bursting of the dot-com bubble in 2001 and 2002. He again created tens of thousands of jobs. He was a very conservative governor. He vetoed over 60 tax increases in Massachusetts and repealed and stopped dozens of regulations that impeded businesses and prevented jobs. He is all about jobs. He's an outstanding debater, as you've seen in 9 separate debates this year. He's the guy you want debating Mitt Romney Barack Obama next September and next October. You know, this election is about jobs and the economy, and he's an expert on both. Most of you in this room actually agree with his ideas and his conservative principles. He is, quickly, anti-abortion, anti-gay marriage, pro-family. He has 5 kids, 16 grandchildren. He's been married to his wife Ann for 42 years. He is pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment, pro-military. I heard him talk just yesterday morning about rebuilding our American Navy, which Barack Obama has decimated. He is anti-tax, and he is pro-state rights and 10th Amendment. He has also followed in this campaign Reagan's 11th commandment, which I wish all candidates would do. I appreciate the endorsement Joel gave us a second ago. He is, solving American problems aren't easy, and I love Herman Cain. I introduced him here in the Howard County Lincoln Day dinner. I love his 999 plan. I like Rick Perry's flat tax, but we've been down that path before. They are not going to pass Congress. But the one thing that we will get is somebody who has a strong plan. Mitt came out with a 59-point plan to turn around America, and it starts with repealing Obamacare and rebuilding jobs in this country. Last thing I can tell you, he will win. He has consistently, polls have shown him beating Barack Obama. He will ultimately win our nomination. I encourage you to support him tonight. I encourage you to support him over the next few months. And if you'd like to volunteer for the campaign over the next 6 months, please talk to me tonight. Thank you.
4, 5, and 21. In 304 days, 5 hours, 21 minutes, 20 minutes, until the Republican National Convention. 304 days. That's a long time. And what I'd like to, the point of my mentioning is that we've had candidates go up, we've had candidates go down. We've had them go up, and we've had them go down. If history is any lesson, and it generally is when it comes to primary contests, we've had some changes that are quite amazing. And it bears keeping in mind as we're considering the candidates here tonight and over the next 304 days before the convention. Think about John Kane. He was flying economy. He had one other person traveling with him at one stage in the campaign the last go-round. Yet he came through. He got the nomination. Think of President, what's his name, from Arkansas? Huckabee. No, he didn't make it, did he? President Huckabee, or Governor Huckabee, came through the Iowa caucuses as a winner. He came on strong. And then it changed. A lot of us need to be reminded that President Reagan lost the 1980 Iowa primary contest. I was there. I was in the caucuses working as a field representative for President Reagan at the time. That stung. It hurt. I didn't like it much. My point is, with 304 days, 5 hours and 20 minutes to go, we've got a lot to consider, and we've got to consider the long haul. This is a marathon, folks. We've got to remember that we've got to pick the candidate who has the most consistency on the convictions that we admire most. Conservatism. That is what we're thinking about today. The point here that I'm trying to mention is that please keep an open mind tonight. Let's keep our eye on the football and keep an eye on the goalpost. It's helping the community organizer go back to community organizing. Whoever the candidate comes out tonight, we're going to stand shoulder to shoulder. I'm supporting Rick Perry because of his consistent conservatism over a 10-year period. I may not always agree with where he stands, but I know where he stands. That's why I'm supporting him. Thank you.